Hey class, Miss Anderson here. Sorry I can't be there. Hopefully you had some time to start the 4 warm-up problems. I'll go through those quickly with you. First, you're going to review the distributive property. Remember, the distributive property is a multiplication property where you take the outside number. This reads -2 times the quantity x plus 4. So you're going to distribute the -2 and multiply it inside. So you're going to get -2 times x is going to give you -2x. Then you're going to take -2 times 4. And remembering that you have a positive times a negative is going to give you -8. Check to make sure that you got that one correct. The next one, we're going to distribute the 4. 4 times n will give me 4n, and then 4 times 1 will be positive 4. So 4n plus 4 there. It's like a 1n when you're multiplying that. So 4 times 1 is 4. The next two, these ones had no equal to sign or anything, so it was just distribute, and then we weren't able to combine like terms, so we were done. These two have equal to signs, so that means that I'm looking to solve for the value of the variable. So in the first one, I'm going to start by distributing the 3. And I'm going to get 3z, and then 3 times -2, it would be -6. So positive times a negative is going to keep that negative. Then I want to solve for z. And so I'm going to start by getting rid of the -6. I'm going to use inverse operations. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And then I'm going to get 3z because -6 plus 6 is 0. On this left side, then 6 plus 6 over here is 12. Then this is 3 times z. So to get z by itself, I'm going to divide by 3. And I ran out of room, but 3 divided by 3 will give me 1. So I'm going to get z equals, and 12 divided by 3 will give me 4. Z equals 4 is my final answer there. Okay, when we have just this negative symbol out in front here, that's like having a -1. So now I'm going to distribute that. So -1 times 2y is going to make it -2y because it's negative times positive. Then -1 times +1 is going to be -1. And then I have an equal of 3y. All right. Now I have variables on both sides of the equation. I have y's on the left and y's on the right. Typically, I move the y's from the right side to the left side. However, you may notice that if you start by subtracting the 3y over, you're going to end up with nothing left on this side. And that would be okay. We could then move the 1 back to this side. But maybe to avoid that, I'm going to move the y's the other way instead. So I have a -2y. So the inverse of -2y or -2y would be positive or plus 2y. I'm going to do that to both sides instead. And then -2y plus 2y is 0, and I get -1 equals 3 plus 2 would be 5y's. So then I'm trying to solve for y. So this is the same thing as 5y equals -1. And so we're going to need to divide by 5 on both sides. And now 1's not divisible by 5. And so I'm going to leave my answer as a fraction, -1/5. And then 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I get y equals -1/5. Or -1/5 equals y. All right. Let's just review how we combine some like terms as well. So we have -2x, and that's going to go with the -6x term. These are both negative because it's -2x minus 6x. That's the same thing as -2x plus -6x. So you have 2 negatives, and then you add 6 more negatives. You're going to get a total of 8 negative x's. And then we have 2 constant terms, a +4 and a +8. So that's similar to the negatives. You have positive 4 plus 8 more. You're going to end up with 12 positives. There's no equal to sign, so all I was looking for was to combine my like terms. Okay, let's try this one. I have negative 7 minus y plus 4 plus 8 plus 12y. I'm going to do the variable first, so I have a negative y and then a positive 12y. This negative y is like a negative 1y. So negative 1 and then positive 12 gives me positive 11 because it's like having 12 positives, take away 1. So the signs are different, so you end up subtracting. There's more positives. So your answer is going to be positive 12y. And then we can go in order and adding our other ones from left to right. So negative 7 plus positive 4. Again, they're opposite signs, so you can subtract them. And that would be 3, and it's going to be negative 3 because 7's bigger in that case. Then plus positive 8. Now you have 3 negatives and 8 positives, so subtract again. 8 minus 3 is 5. This time 8's bigger, so your final answer there is going to be positive 5. Addition is commutative, so you could have added the 12 here and then did 12 minus 7 to get the 5 as well. All right, so now we're going to put all of these skills together with our examples into solving. So we're going to combine like terms and solve. And then we're going to check a few of our answers to make sure we remember how to check it and to make sure we're getting the correct answers. So here's our first equation. So whenever I have an equal sign, if I have any terms that are the same on the same side of the equal, I can start by combining them. So you'll notice I have 2 x terms that are on the left side of the equal in this one. So I'm going to start by combining those terms. I have negative 3x's and positive 7x's. These are different signs. So you're going to find the difference between them, which means subtract. 7 take away 3, positive 7, 7 take away 3 is 4. And then 7 is bigger. So you're going to have 4 x's there. Then you still have a positive 5. And then you have an x plus 17. All right, so I've combined my like terms. Now I have variables on both sides. So I need to get the variables all on one side. So I'm going to move the x from the right to the left side. It's a positive 1x. So I'm going to subtract an x on each side. And I'm going to remember that when I subtract an x, it's a 1x. So I have 4 x's, take away 1x is going to leave you with 3 x's, plus 5, and then x minus x was 0, so on this side I have 17 left. Then my next step is going to be get the x variable isolated. So I'm going to start by trying to get rid of this positive 5. The inverse of positive 5 is negative 5. So the inverse of adding 5 is subtracting 5. So that's going to leave me with 3x here. And then 5 minus 5 is 0. 17 minus 5 is 12. So I'm going to bring this up here because I ran out of room. I have 3x equals 12. 3x equals 12 means 3 times x, so divide both sides by 3, and we get x equals 4. Okay. I think I'm going to go down to this one right here, and then do a couple more down here. And so I think I'm going to skip these for now, just for sake of time. Okay, so we're really going to focus on combining like terms and then combining our variables on both sides. So here we have 2 of the terms that are alike on the left side again. And we have a 6 minus a negative 3. First, 6 minus negative 3 is the same thing as 6 plus 3. When you have 2 negatives in a row like that, because subtraction is the same thing as adding the opposite, it becomes plus. So we have 2x plus 6 plus 3. So really we have 2x plus 9. We have two terms we can combine. And then on the other side, we have a negative 2x plus 5. So now we're back down to no like terms, but we want to get all our variable terms over here. So we have a negative 2x on the right side. So the inverse of subtracting or a negative 2x would be to add 2x. Make sure you are adding the 2x, you're bringing the x with it, and you're lining it up with the x term on the other side. So really you're adding from the right to the left, and then you're adding the terms that are alike. 2x plus 2x is 4x, and then you have plus 9. Negative 2x plus positive 2x gives me 0. That's what I wanted. I wanted to get rid of the x's on the right. And I still have a positive 5. Now my goal is to get the 4x by itself, which means I need to move the positive 9. The inverse of adding 9 is subtracting 9 from both sides. So I get 4x equals 5 take away 9. 5 is smaller than 9, so it's going to leave you with a negative answer. The signs are different. So subtract them. 9 take away 5 is 4, but again, 5 is smaller, so your answer is going to be negative. Or 9 is bigger, so you have more negatives. So negative 4 there. Then 4x equals negative 4, divide by 4. And we get x equals negative 1 as our final answer there. We have a 4 divided by 4, but it's negative divided by a positive. So you get negative 1. Okay, now I'm going to jump down to the problems in example 3. And we're going to put the distribute, the combined like terms, and the solving all together. So a multi-step problem. The first thing I'm going to do is the distributive property, because distributive property is multiplication, and that's going to come before any addition. So I'm going to distribute. So I have 8x minus 4 times x plus 8. So really, I need to think of this 4 as a negative 4. And I'm going to distribute that negative along with that 4 into this parenthesis. I'm going to leave the 8x out front alone. So I'm going to have 8x. Then I'm going to have negative 4 times 1x. And negative 4 times 1 is negative 4x. Then I'm going to take that negative 4 and I'm going to multiply it by 8. And negative 4 times positive 8 is going to be negative 32. And then that's going to equal 8 on the other side. So I stopped distributing when the parentheses ended. So only what was inside those parentheses. Now I notice that I have two x terms on one side of the equal, which means you can combine like terms. So 8x minus 4x is 4x. And then you have 4x minus 32 equals 8. And then we want to get this x term by itself, so we need to next deal with that minus 32, and the inverse operation of subtracting 32 is adding 32 to both sides. And we get 4x equals 40. And if 4x equals 40, we can divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals 10. Okay, I think I'm going to choose maybe 2 more problems to do because I know the video is probably getting long, and you can always go back and rewatch an example, and I don't want to do too much to lose you. So let's see which one. How about this one? This one looks like a fun one. So we have multiple distributive properties on both sides. So that's going to be my first step, is I'm going to distribute, and then I'm going to distribute on this side. So I'm going to start by taking 5 times 1 is 5, and then 5 times 4x is 20x. Then I still have a plus 15. Remember, I stopped distributing when the parentheses end, so that's why I did not distribute the 5 to the 15 as well. And then we have that equal to 2 times x, it's 2x, and then 2 times 1 is 2. Now I can combine some like terms. I have a 5 and a 15, which are both constant terms. So I can put those together and I get 5 plus 15 is 20, and I still have a plus 20x. So I had combined the 5 and the 15 for now. And then over here I have 2x plus 2 still. Now I need to get my x's all on one side because I have x's on both the left and the right. So I like to move my x's to the left. So it's a positive 2x, so I'm going to subtract 2x. Make sure you bring the x with it. Then make sure you line it up with the x term, so the term on the other side that also has a variable x. So minus 2x here. So 20, and then 20 minus 2x would be positive 18x. So I have 20 plus 18x. And then this is 0, so I have 2 left. Now I need to get the x term by itself. So I need to subtract 20 because I have a positive 20 on this side, plus 20. So I'm going to subtract 20. And I get 18x because 20 minus 20 is 0, and 0 plus 18x is 18x. On the other side, I have 2 minus 20. 2 is very small compared to 20, so my answer is going to be negative. The signs are different here. The difference between 20 and 2 is 18. And it's negative because 2 is smaller than 20, or there was more negatives when you canceled them out. Last step is to divide by 18. Anytime you divide a number by itself, you get 1. So that's why we get 1x. So 18 divided by 18 on this side is also 1, but a negative divided by a positive gives me negative 1. So there's that equation. I'll give you a minute to finish writing that down, or a quick second. Then I'm just going to do the last one here that just asked me to check. So in all of these problems, we found solutions. And if I wanted to know, is it in fact a solution to the equation, means that I would plug that back in. So I would do substitution. Is a equal negative 4 a solution to this equation? Which would mean if you put negative 4 into each of the a spots, so here and here, these equations should be true if you follow the order of operations. So let's try it. So we have 1/2 times a plus 2. So I'm going to do negative 4 plus 2. And then it was minus 3 times a. So minus 3 times negative 4. We're going to have to be really careful with all those negatives. And then on this side, we have 10 minus negative 1. I'm just going to change that to plus 1 right now, because we have that double negative. Then in PEMDAS, so follow your order of operations. So we want inside the parentheses first. So 1/2 times negative 4 and positive 2, different signs. So the difference between them is negative 2 minus 3 times negative 4. Then I'm going to multiply. Negative 1/2 times negative 2 over 1 is going to be negative 2 over 2, which is going to simplify to just negative 1. Or half of negative 2 is negative 1. Then negative 3 times negative 4 is going to be positive 12. Then 10 plus 1 is 11. So I know I want my answer to equal 11, and -1 plus 12 is in fact 11, which means that A equals -4 is a solution. So if you want to check to see if your answer that you get is a solution, you go back to your original equation and you evaluate, you plug it in, and then you evaluate it using the order of operations to make sure that the equation comes out to be true. I hope this video was helpful and yet not too long. I hope you're having a great week or Monday or Tuesday morning so far. And try the homework. So we're on 5.2 or 5.3C. So we want to do the homework for 5.3C, week 1 folder. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.